Good morning. I know you've got some of the details. Just a quick wrap up on this. First of all, let me thank everybody for all the media support we had trying to get the word out on this missing child. We have recovered her in the area of Pasco County and Highway 39 North, which is the Paul Buckman Highway, just inside Pasco County. Earlier this morning, we had received a call from a citizen and also a convenience store clerk of a child matching that description. The clothing was basically the same as when she left here, still had the backpack, and a citizen saw her. We do believe that she was trying to avoid probably law enforcement or avoid being found, so everything does point at this time to the fact that the child left on her own and due to some problems that she may have been having. But I want to give a thank you to St. Stephen's Church, who have been great partners in this, Bell Shoals Church, FDLE, Code Enforcement, Hardy County Correctional Canine Unit, the many volunteers in school security who came out and helped us. We had a great effort here. We're certainly glad that it turned out the way it did, but we were prepared to go to the next level in the event that this would have been anything other than child leaving on her own. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Sir, if you have any idea at this point how she got so far from here?
Did you mean Polk or Pasco first?
Pasco.
Pasco County line?
It's the Pasco County line, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's not too far west of Polk in that corner, but she was just inside the Pasco County line. And the call actually came in to us, was transferred to our command post, and we were able to get a deputy up there. And your question again was?
I wonder how she got from here all the way to Pasco.
We don't know that yet. We'll be in the process of interviewing her and debriefing. Right now, we're trying to get her reunited with her family and hopefully help her out a little bit, and then we'll find out those things. Remember, she was missing for about 37 hours or so. We believe Tuesday night sometime after 9 o'clock. So she had a lot of time in between the time she left here. Could she have made it all that way with all the attention and not being detected? I don't know. That's hard to say, but we'll certainly be looking at that to see if somebody else was involved and would have helped her.
What was her condition when she was found?
Her condition's good, and we're going to be looking at that. We're going to have a medical evaluation, have her parents look at her appearance and those type things, and we'll be moving forward on any information we develop out of that.
Has she already been reunited with her family?
That is in the process right now, and they would be there, getting pretty close to being there right now.
Would you have been looking in that area had someone not called in?
Well, that would have been, it's a statewide. We were looking statewide and really almost nationwide when you get in a situation like this. But that would have been outside the search perimeter. We were concentrating on this area here on about a 5-mile radius, but it certainly was in our alert area, and any deputies up there would have had seen her walking. They would have certainly stopped her.
We understand that perhaps she walked to a Circle K, and can you explain that?
That is correct. She, at some point in time, a citizen had called in and also a clerk from a Circle K. She had gone in the store and then had left. And, we think she was trying to avoid contact with anybody who may have been trying to find her. Let's wait till we see.
Whereabouts is that Circle K? Is that what
That Circle K would be just north of the county line, not very far. It's still a Paul Buckman Highway address, so it's just inside the Pasco County line.
Sheriff, how fortunate is it that somebody is just 11 years old and went almost 30 miles?
I think that's what's important here. It looks like the child left her alone, but it is important to note that we're very fortunate that we have a good outcome. She is just 11. And she was gone for a long period of time. So what could start out as a runaway could turn into something much worse, and does often, as we know from these stories across the country. So we're very fortunate, and hopefully, nothing happened in between now and then. That's what we'll be looking at to have this kind of conclusion.
Do you think Jenna made it to Pasco without any assistance?
I don't.
Simply walked?
Yeah, I don't know that. It's in the time frame. It's possible. It seems unlikely that a child that young that we wouldn't get any calls, but we really had very few calls overnight on it. Not a large volume of calls where people were seeing someone of that description, and most of those we were able to evaluate, and they were not her.
Jim, over the last couple of days, there have been hundreds of volunteers, literally hundreds, even this morning coming through.
Yeah.
What do you think of all the people that have come out to try to help search for her?
Yeah, I'm not surprised in this community. That's what we're all about here, and anytime we've had situations like this, we always get a lot of volunteers. People are concerned, they're engaged. A lot of people knew this family. It's a great community, and I'm not surprised by all the churches and all the volunteers who came together. I think it speaks well, and it's great for us to have that kind of support. Had the situation gone differently, we would have needed those volunteers for potentially a long period of time.
Has she ever run away before?
She had not really run away. She had had problems sometimes, and when she would leave for short periods of time, I mean, I'm talking, an hour or so, that's what we're told, and just kind of stayed in the neighborhood. Nothing on a scale like this.
Sheriff, do you have a specific time when she was found this morning?
I do not know that exactly, but I'll get that for you. But it was not very long ago. You were notified pretty quickly afterwards.
When she told you she was, or did she tell you she was trying to kind of lay low and avoid being spotted? How did she do that?
Well, we don't. We're just basing that on some information we received up there, and we're still evaluating that. We've not really had a chance to really interview her. We're going to have her parents take a good look at her and see if there's any appearance changes or anything like that, and we'll probably have some better information on that later. The one thing we don't want to do right now is make it any harder for this child to come back and assume her life. She enough going on, and we're just hoping that everybody's understanding of that, and she can come back home, and that would help her parents a great deal if she can come back to some degree of normalcy as quickly as possible with her family. So we'll kind of leave that up to the parents now. We've done our part. We're going to suggest some support groups that may be able to help the parents, and other than that, unless we think there's something else that happened that would be criminal in nature between then and now, our role in this would end.
When she was found, what was her demeanor? Was she scared? Was she glad to have help?
I don't know exactly, but just some initial impression I had from conversation this morning is she really did not want to have contact with law enforcement, and I don't know if there was an attempt to evade or not, but I think it was clearly she was not ready to be found at that time. That was my initial information. Guys, I think...
Did this stem from an argument or something with the parents?
I don't think so much an argument. I think just, maybe just a point where the child is in life, and there has been, some problems with her, and there were some this week, some minor things, and until we ask her and have a chance, in all fairness, we don't know, but we're assuming it's related to some type of emotional situation that she has going on.
All in all, can you give us an idea of the scope of the search? How many people were involved?
It was hundreds of people. If you include volunteers, it was a huge amount. A lot of resources. Aviation was in the air most of the night, running a floor operation. A lot of ground resources, the mounted unit, the horses, the boats. The river, the Alphi River runs just south of here. This is part of the wilderness corridor of Hillsborough County. It kind of starts here. A lot of the ELAP property and all of that is just to the south. So there's a potential to get yourself really lost once you get into the Alphi River basin. You can get seriously lost out there. And so that was our fear, that this may have started out as a runaway and had gotten into a situation where the child was lost. It rained last night. It was, pretty chilly, and you can get into a serious situation fairly quickly. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. And any other information, Crystal will get it for you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.